So, Mark, it's that time of year again. It is February, and you know what that means.
It is time for East of the River Comics and Collectibles Show to return to Enfield, the American Legion Hall.
Yes.
It's going to be a rocking good time as always.
Always. February 27th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can show up at 9 a.m. for early bird. It's a $3 admission. It's $1 admission to come in at 10, between 10 and 3. If you do not know where the American Legion Hall, it's at 566 Enfield Street, Enfield, Connecticut.
Or for those folks in Enfield, it's right next to the Dunkin' Donuts on Enfield Street.
And you know where all the Dunkin' Donuts are.
You know where all the Dunkin' Donuts are.
Yes.
So that's a great wayfinding. From telling, like, when I discuss with people, like, hey, where's this at? It's like, you know, the Dunkin' Donuts is on Enfield Street. Yeah, it's to the. You're looking at it. It's to the left.
Right.
It's right there.
So you know, it's going to be a great time as always. Lots of vendors. I will be mainly selling comic books at this one because I will be doing a toy show the following weekend, which I'll be bringing majority of all my toys to.
Which we'll talk about later.
Yes, but right now, let's focus, and we hope to see you at East of the River Comic Book and Collectible Show, February 27th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
At the American Legion Hall, 566 Enfield Street, Enfield, Connecticut. We will be there, and just so you know, if you're vaccinated, you don't need a mask. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is February 1st, 2022. It's not that very often we do a show right on the first of the month, but we are today because it just happened to be a Tuesday that Bryon could do the show. So we are doing it today, and today is a day. As you notice, I'm wearing my Tom Brady jersey. We'll talk about it more later on in the news. But how you doing, Bryon? How have you been? How is life treating you? How'd you survive Winter Storm Bobby? Is what I heard it was called. I called it Winter Storm Kegs.
I didn't know I had a name, but that's
it did. They called it Winter Storm Bobby up here. I don't know if that's just a mass thing on the mass news, but that's what I saw in the news. So,
well, it's interesting because where I'm in Enfield, and we got like at least like between 6 and 8, depending on the snow drift.
Yeah,
some places got like 3 inches, but the Rhode Island area, and Boston area, got almost like 2 feet.
Yeah, Rhode Island, where all the people I work with from Cox, most of them are all located in Rhode Island. And they've been regaling us in our meetings yesterday with how bad their snow was.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's like they're kind of gloating, but also kind of like annoyed that we didn't get hardly anything.
Right.
At the same time, it's like, well, we got 2 feet. It's been terrible to deal with all this snow. And it's like, they're like, how would you guys get through it? And like, all my other coworkers are in the southern part of the state, like Manchester, Cheshire, they got a little bit more snow than we did up here.
Yeah.
I'm like, so Mark, how'd you get through it? I'm like, I got like 6 inches. So
yeah, it was nothing.
I went out and snowblowed once, and then the next day I went out yesterday or Sunday morning, went out and took care of the end of the driveway, and I was done.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, we're supposed to get something on Friday.
Something tonight, supposedly, too, I heard.
Yeah, Friday. Well, no, tomorrow's going to be in the 40s.
Yeah, but I heard there's something tonight coming through.
No, I don't know. I mean, it's probably we're going to get in the 40s tomorrow. We're going to get in the 40s Thursday.
Yeah.
And then Friday we might potentially have like,
which is good because it melts all the stuff that's down there.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
But let's not talk about the weather.
Yeah, that's what old men do. We're old men, Bryon.
Weather is boring. Nobody wants to hear about this. Anyway, Mark, my week. I got a few things real quick. I don't know if you played the Avengers DLC, the Wakanda.
I haven't played any of the DLCs.
Okay, here's what I gotta say. The core game of Avengers, the story's good, gameplay very repetitive and kind of boring at times. If you play the DLCs, which are Hawkeye, Old Man Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, it's really good. And they change it up some. Then the Wakanda DLC, they change it up a lot more.
Yeah.
Fun, better, a good story. and they change up the gameplay. And I honestly think that the Kate Bishop Hawkeye Wakanda DLC is almost better than the core game.
That's what I heard. A lot of the DLCs are better than the actual.
Yes, it's like they learned from their mistakes.
Like that was like one of their first tries at stuff, and then they like got better as they went through the.
Still, I mean, it's not the best game in the world, but I did complete it. I'm glad.
Surprisingly enough, which we'll talk about later in the show as well. Sorry to interrupt you there, but most of the people who do voice acting on the Avengers game are all Critical Role folks. Same voice actors.
Yeah, some of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but some of them.
But yeah, most of the main people in it are Avengers.
So then on top of that, I finished volume 4 of Y the Last Man. I'm jumping into the final volume tonight. I'm super excited to see how this ends. I'm so still disappointed that we didn't get a season 2. I still hold out hope that we could in the future.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great adaptation. Speaking of adaptations, I finished Cowboy Bebop, the anime, last week. I didn't get the chance to talk about it. I absolutely adore and love the anime. Some of the episodes are just genius. It's such an awesome storyline. The ending is the most depressing episode I've ever seen. After it ended, I wanted more. There is a movie that takes place before the final episode, which I am in the process of purchasing on Amazon, so I can check out that. I think it was just an amazing show. Now, I jumped back into the live action this weekend. I rewatched the first episode, which is good. I'm up to episode 4. I'm watching episode 4 probably tomorrow. I got to work tonight. It's so funny because I was so into the anime and so sad by the final episode that going into the live action is kind of fulfilling the need to have Cowboy Bebop in my life.
Yeah, see? That's what I think. That's what I understand why this show didn't work so well.
Well, I'm not going to give my opinion or review until I finish the live action. I'm only going to say this. If you for people who never saw the anime and watched the show, it's a good gateway drug, and it does the job well. I think they do a great job with what they're doing. Yeah. Now, if you're if you're a big fan of the anime and you jump into the show, a lot of it feels like the greatest hits, a remix, if you will. There's some odd choices, which I will get into once I finish it. I want to watch the whole live animation.
Yeah, because more stuff happens in the later part of the season.
Right. I'm enjoying it.
React to.
I have tiny nitpicks. Some things I do not. It doesn't jive well with me, but for the most part, I'm really liking it. So I'm gonna wait till I finish it. I'll come back. We can talk about it together. But
of the two bigger disappointments of 2021 was those two shows being canceled. Cowboy Bebop and Y Last Man. I think they both could have gotten a second season. I think they were victims of the moment, kind of we need to have like immediate response back as soon as the show comes out, or if it doesn't respond, people don't respond well to it instantly. Y Last Man also got the only on Hulu treatment by FXX, which I think is also an issue that they couldn't really rebound from, because like unless you have Hulu, you're not going to find it.
Right.
And I think the Cowboy Bebop thing dealt with a lot of the, like you were saying, people who were madly in love with the anime basically wanted that anime just redone.
No, I know.
I think that might have suffered from that a tiny bit, but I'm not saying completely. I'm saying there was a portion that wanted that. There's a portion that wanted it.
No, they didn't want it to happen. See, the point of Cowboy Bebop, needless to say, that the live action does exist. Okay, exists in this world. So I'm not gonna say that obviously the people who did it, I think, are passionate about it and love the anime as well. So I can only speak to this. A lot of folks, I'm in the Cowboy Bebop Reddit thing. A lot of people, from what I read, and I try to stay away from it because I want to have my own opinion. but a lot of people felt like the live action should never have happened. They felt like the anime was perfect as is. It ended in such a way that they felt like the creator, that was what he wanted, and they felt like the live action should never have happened, basically.
I understand that, but do these people all realize it's 2022, and if there's any idea out there that's kind of popular and kind of had any kind of like following, someone's gonna jump on it and buy it, the rights to it, and make it into another show.
Listen, I think
the other thing we'll talk about later, Halo.
Yeah, I think everybody has something that's close to their heart.
Yeah.
That when it's brought back, or it's
another version of it,
grab,
different version of it,
you might become cynical because you're like, it was perfect the way it was. Why? Like
you also have that thing of people. Not saying it's with this, but there is also, this happens with a lot of things, is people remember it better than it actually was. Like, because at the time they'd seen it, it affected them in a certain way. They put it on this pedestal of shows or whatever it is. And it's like, oh, you can't top that. So when someone else tries to do it, they're like, well, I'm not going to support it because it's not going to be as good as I remember it being. Nothing's going to be as good as you remember it being.
But for example, they made a remake of RoboCop. Garbage. Why?
Terrible.
It was perfect the way it was. Yeah. They made a remake of Total Recall. Horrible.
Terrible.
Why?
Judge Dredd. Terrible.
Why? Well, Judge Dredd was bad both times. Yeah. But it would be like, and I would be 100%
Star Wars.
Opposed.
Terrible.
No, what I'm trying to say, Back to the Future. Can you imagine if they did a Back to the Future?
They've thought about it. But it's been talked about.
No, but they won't allow. The creator said nobody is allowed to touch it while we're alive.
Yeah. And you mean to tell me Universal isn't counting the days until one of those guys passes away?
Might be in a contract. They say they don't want anybody to. But if they made a remake, if we got to that point where there was, I wouldn't watch it.
I say you give it. I will say, and you could record this because we're recording the show. I say in the next 15 to 20 years we'll get a Back to the Future reboot.
No, there is a thing. They said they're not allowed to. Let's look it up.
I'm just saying. I'm just telling you that I think once the creators, when I think it's Kane is the guy's name, Bob Kane, I think is the guy that wrote it, and Zemeckis directed it.
Yeah,
and I think he wrote it as well. But once those gentlemen pass away, hopefully a long time from now, in the 10-year span after that, someone at Universal is going to be like, you know what we should do? And someone will be like, okay. I mean, they did it to Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and look how that turned out.
I mean, it wasn't terrible.
I mean, my opinion, the first Ghostbusters is the only good Ghostbusters.
Oh, it is. But I mean, this Afterlife wasn't as bad as the second movie was.
Yeah.
But I think that it's bound to come around. Everything gets redone. Everything gets remade. And if they're pulling the trigger on Dune, and I mean, the A-Team even got remade into a movie. So I mean, they'll put anything into.
It's just like
they'll do anything over.
Get a new idea, basically. Get a new idea. The writer basically said there will never be, there will never be a remake or reboot of Back to the Future. I guess they have a contract saying. Robert Zemeckis owns the rights and has made it passionately clear that they'll never need to they'll need to pry it from his cold dead hands before anyone can even think about a remake or reboot. But Gale went on to note that there's plenty of additional material out there that comes with the original creative team's seal of approval. So they can make like a continuing story, but they can't remake or remake.
I mean, we all know the shtick of Rick and Morty was basically the fourth movie. Is that what the shtick was, or something like that?
No, Rick and Morty was a parody of it.
Yeah, but I mean,
it had no seal of approval by the Zemeckis.
No, but I mean, didn't they also write a fourth movie? Isn't that a thing I've read somewhere? Not Rick and Morty folks, but
there's
other places.
I'm sure there's fan fiction. I'm sure there's fan fiction out there.
I remember when I was watching, they did a thing on the Discovery Plus when it first came out about trying to find the original DeLorean. from the movie.
Yeah.
Because Universal lost it in like just moving things around all over the place. And they had Christopher Lloyd was on it, and Christopher Lloyd even said like, yeah, there was a fourth movie like pitched. Like,
I'm
he
sure
sat in the meetings and everything, and was like, we're
they
close
had
to doing it, and then
that
they
was
just
probably back in the 80s or the 90s.
and then they just scrapped it after the third one.
Yeah, that was probably back then. Like,
Yeah.
they probably wanted to just end it. Anyway, I think I went through everything. Oh, and well, the Halo trailer we'll talk about in the news. We'll talk about. Mark, how was your week? Anything of note before we hop into the news?
It was good. Like with you, I dealt with the storm on Saturday.
The big storm.
Just the big storm on Saturday. I did get into looking for new shows to watch because we're in that weird spot where there's no like fully released show. Everything's like episodical now.
Yeah.
So having to wait for things. So I got into Righteous Gemstones. I decided to watch that on the HBO Max because I was on HBO Max and randomly for something else and saw that, and I was like, I'll give that a try.
How is it?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started watching season 1 a long time ago, and I never finished it. Not because it was bad. I don't know why. I want to jump back in because what's his name? Before Righteous Gemstones, he did Vice Principals, which was fucking hilarious, which is such a fucking great show.
Oh, Danny McBride.
Danny McBride.
Yeah.
So, and that what Righteous Gemstones was like his new project. So I've been dying to check it out. I think season 2 just dropped or is coming out?
Season 2 just came out like 5 or 6 episodes in.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Because after I finished The Great, I needed something else to watch. So
you finished the what?
The Great.
Oh, okay.
On Hulu.
Yeah, I have to check that out. It's weird. Like I said in our group chat, I feel like early 2000s where I actually am excited for the end of the week because I have new shows coming out. It feels like back when I had cable and you had to wait week to week.
Yeah.
It's weird. And it's like 3 shows on 3 different streaming services.
Yes. One of them is going to drop like a lot of episodes like at once. So
what do you mean?
Vox Machina, they're going to drop 3 episodes at a time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought there was just the first 3 and then 1 at a time.
No, they're going to do 3 every week.
Well, how many episodes in total then? Probably not much.
There's probably a lot of them.
Huh. Well, it's awesome.
It's all bought and paid for, so I don't have to worry about all I gotta do is air it. So
yeah. So let's talk about the Halo trailer. It did drop.
It dropped during the AFC Championship game on Sunday.
Yeah. Who's in the Super Bowl, Mark?
Super Bowl, your LA Rams and your Cincinnati Bengals.
Woo woo. And where's Super Bowl going to be held? In Florida?
LA.
Oh, LA?
SoFi Stadium, home of the LA Rams.
Wow.
2nd year in a row, the team from the NFC is hosting as well as playing in the Super Bowl.
And it's February
6th. No, it's next Sunday, not this coming Sunday. It is the 13th.
That's what I yeah, because they get a week off.
Yes.
They get a week off. I was like, is it this Sunday already?
No, I was just busting your balls. No, it's the 13th.
13th. That's what I thought.
Yeah. And the day after is Valentine's Day / my wife's birthday.
Oh, that's a double threat.
Hey, you don't have to worry about remembering anything.
That's true. That's a double whammy.
Yeah.
So the Halo trailer dropped. I was at my parents', so what happened was I was watching it with the audio off. I was reading subtitles, and visually I liked what I saw.
Yeah.
Then you said I'm not keen on the voice, and I was like, oh, okay, what's the voice? So I got home and I put it on the big screen. Still liked it visually.
Yes.
The voice is being helmed by a younger actor.
Yes.
They did bring back is it Jen from
the actual actress who plays Cortana in the video game.
Yes. She will be playing Cortana. Now, Cortana is based off Halsey, which is a different actress. And in the video game, She plays both.
Yeah.
But I guess originally they were going to have that actress do the voice of Cortana, but because of the pandemic, and then I guess probably someone was like, maybe I should have her come back.
Yes.
And I'm happy they did. It is kind of weird. I'm just looking for some information as I'm talking. Oh, Jen Taylor. That's what her name is. It is kind of weird that Steve Downes is not playing Master Chief.
Yeah.
But from an article I read that came out last year, the producers had said that this is a different timeline from the games.
It seems like it happens way earlier.
Yeah, but this is gonna be it's completely different. He is a younger John. And we are going to see him without a mask on. So that's why that actor is doing the voice, because it would be weird to see a 71-year-old Steve Downes behind that mask.
Yes, that would be awkward.
I didn't realize how old he was.
I didn't either. I had no idea.
He's an old guy. So I don't know. It's not a sticking point. I get it. I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic for the show. It drops in March, like March 25th.
Yes, Pablo Schreiber, who was Liev Schreiber's younger brother.
Yeah, Rocky was telling us that.
Yes.
It drops in March, right, Mark?
Yes. 9 episodes.
Okay. I have Paramount Plus. I paid for it for the year.
Yes, I will be getting Paramount Plus just for that.
So it will give me something to watch now on there. Yeah. Other than I'm rewatching Clone High, which has been a lot of fun. So I don't know. What did you think of the trailer though? Minus the one little drawback with the voice. I mean, what was your initial reaction?
That is the thing that I think threw me off from the trailer.
I honestly, when I heard his voice, I didn't realize it was Chief talking. I'm like, who's that talking?
That's my first thing was like, who's talking? Is the Chief like responding to something? Like, who's talking to the Chief right now? Why are they showing the Chief if this person's talking?
Yeah, same.
So that's what threw me off for a second. So I had to rewatch it again, knowing that it's somebody else now.
Right. Totally.
And it looks really good. It looks like
big budget.
When I played the video game, what I would picture it being in my head.
Yeah.
Just in live action. So I think that part is going to be good. I'm hoping the story's good. Like you said, it takes place. Like this is basically the origin story of the Master Chief. Basically, I guess they're going with.
Yeah, but it's different from the video game. It's a different timeline. They said it's a different version of Master Chief. It's its own thing almost.
Yeah. But I guess but I guess that's the shtick of it. So it's not going to be like shot for shot. You're not going to be watching the show thinking you're playing the game, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'd be cool. I've seen in the trailer they did a couple like first person looks at things.
Saw the warthog.
So you get that, yeah. You get which has been around for a while now. The aliens all look good. The ones that they showed.
Surprisingly, they do look good.
I guess they're doing a kind of sort of like Cylon deal with like humans being members of the Covenant, which I guess makes sense because you can't just have all CGI continually through the show.
Yeah.
So you have to have some humans that have sided with the Covenant.
And Master Chief is protecting this girl who's a new character. It looks like because she's like, why are you're a Spartan? You're not supposed to.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have feelings or.
And then we got to see kind of like a version of Blue Team, all suited up in their own gear.
The other Spartans.
Yeah, it's. I looked online. It's kind of like it's not going to be called Blue Team in the show. Oh, we don't know anyway. But it's the characters are slightly based off those characters.
Yeah,
it's kind of.
I mean, I'm just from playing Halo long enough. My first instinct was, well, these people are going to die by the end of the season, and then the Master Chief will be by himself, and he'll be the last Spartan, and that'll be the whole shtick for the second season. Is now he has to go it alone, kind of thing.
Maybe. I mean, Blue Team doesn't die. I mean, you shouldn't.
No, but I mean, I'm just because that's the shtick of Halo is basically he's the last Spartan, and that's what he's found to like save the world, basically.
Yeah.
safe immunity. So, and you got the one general who's the bad general guy who doesn't think Spartans should be involved, and so they'll have that storyline like they
Well, they
always
should
have.
be, like, so we find out the Master Chief is upgradable
Yeah,
for a computer, which
yeah.
is new. We also find
Well, I think it's kind of just your thing on. It's the workaround for in-game build up, basically.
Yeah.
Like you would earn your own stuff in the game and be able to upgrade your character with modding and things, and that's basically the. How do we upgrade the character through the season without having to have him purchase things? Oh, we'll just say he's like an android and we can upgrade him anytime we want to. Oh,
well,
okay.
yeah, it sounds like they're like he's under our control, and I think the shtick will be him breaking
free
of that control,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, so that's gonna be the shtick of the thing. So, I mean, I think I'm hoping it's good. I'm not sure if I'm gonna jump. Like, I don't know how they're releasing all the episodes, if they're doing it all at once or
Probably weekly. It's gonna be
so
weekly.
I might wait until it's all out before I jump on it.
Well, we gotta talk about it for the show. Come on.
Well, we'll see. Yeah,
come on. We got
right.
what's gonna be going on in March?
It comes out a week before Moon Knight.
So we can watch two. We're talking about 3 shows today.
I know this is getting kind of crazy, but yes. So yeah,
we'll talk about Halo week to week. Come on.
I love how I say one time I'm gonna wait to watch a show until later, and you're like, well, "Come on, I don't understand what your problem is."
Come on.
From the man who has not watched half the shows that have aired in the past 15 years.
But I'm doing good now, aren't I?
You're getting better. You're getting better.
Come
I
on.
gotta say, you're starting to come around to watching shows when they actually air.
I'm actually watching like 4 current shows.
Hot damn!
I know, this is weird.
Wow, how do you get through your week?
I don't know.
How do you budget your time? You must stay up to at least 10:30.
10. 10, and I'm done. I'm like a baby. I had to go to bed. Anyway. Man. Well, the Halo trailer does look good. I'm excited too. We should talk about it week to week. And Moon Knight is coming out the week after.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought Moon Knight's coming out in March.
Yeah.
So March 25th is kind of near the end of the month.
Yeah. March 26th is Moon Knight. I think it's like the next day.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. And
I remember correctly.
We got Batman coming out in March. March is going to be.
That's early March. Tickets come on sale this month.
I know.
Next week.
We're talking about going to the Springfield one.
I heard.
We should. I'm excited.
I already said I would go. It's closer for me than it is going to Enfield.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump into Vox Machina.
Or Machina.
Machina. Vox Machina, which is critical.
Macchiato.
It's actually, there's a comic that's been out for a while. So it's interesting. They started their own comic book based off Critical Role with the same name, I believe. And now the animated version or their animated TV show is now on Amazon. And
what they did was they did a Kickstarter to get the show made.
Yeah.
And as part of that, I think you got the comic book.
Well, the comics on at Matt's. I saw it at Matt's.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying when they did the Kickstarter, I'm saying you got like if you donated a certain amount, you got the comic book. So I think now they're selling the comic book. Because it's already been made, just like the TV show.
Stuff up, Mark.
I'm just assuming.
You're assuming. You have no.
I have no idea, but I'm just throwing it out there.
You just make.
That would make sense to me. That's what I would do.
You're just Joe Rogan it. You're just like, whatever comes to mind.
Get kicked off Spotify.
Joe Rogan it.
I say we leave Spotify. We just joined. We should leave Spotify too.
We are leaving Spotify.
Just because.
We're taking all our listeners with us. All 12 of you.
All 12 of you are coming with us.
We're going to tank the stock market.
Yes. So anyways, going back to what you were talking about before that.
Did you watch the first 3 episodes?
I did. But Halo comes out the 24th of March. The following week, Moon Knight comes out.
What date?
The 30th.
Oh.
It's a Wednesday.
So it's a whole week.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Anyway, back to Vox. I really enjoying it. You know how hard it is for me to get into like an animated show like this. I thought
Very hard because you don't like cartoons.
I do like cartoons, but the animation has to be good. And that's we had a conversation, and it's very similar to the animation from Invincible. I think
Not
it's
even
better.
close. I don't know where you get this from.
I think it's kind of similar, but better.
It's not really, but that's okay.
Anyway, I like the characters. It's very fun.
So here's the
very
background
funny
for those who don't know on this show.
Mm-hmm.
In March of 2019, the Critical Role cast launched a Kickstarter campaign to raise funds for a 22-minute animation called Critical Role: The Legend of Vox Machina animated special.
Mm-hmm.
The animated story was to be a set just before the streaming portion of the campaign started, which is like their origin story from when they first started streaming their D&D campaign. When the players are around level 7, during a time when canonically there is a in-game period of roughly 6 months when the members of Vox Machina were not all together at the same time.
Oh.
The cast projected the cost to be around $750,000 for a single 22-minute animated short.
Wow.
Filling the other campaign rewards and the fees associated with the crowdfunding campaign. Not knowing how long this would take to raise, the campaign length was set at 45 days. Then, within an hour of launch, the Kickstarter had reached more than $1 million. At the end of the first full day, all of the announced stretch goals had been unlocked, and the total had reached more than $4.3 million. With 4 22-minute episodes funded in the first 24 hours, additional stretch goals were added, expanding the project into an animated series. The first 2 episodes would cover the pre-stream story arc. The subsequent episodes would adapt the Briarwoods arc, also from the Vox Machina campaign, which we just saw the first episode of that in the third of the 3 first release shows. By March 18th of 2019, this thing launched on March 4th, 2019, by the way. 8 22-minute episodes have been funded. Finally, on April 4th, 2019, the last published stretch goal of $8.8 million was reached during an airing of episode 57 of Campaign 2, pushing the total length of the animated series to 10 episodes. A secret $10 million stretch goal of Willingham being filmed going around a haunted house was reached on April 16th. The final total raised by the Kickstarter when it closed on April 19th, roughly less than just over a month, was, ready for this, Brian?
Mm-hmm.
$11,385,449 from 88,887 backers.
Jeez.
When the campaign closed, it was one of the most quickly funded in Kickstarter history and was the most funded Kickstarter for TV and film projects.
Oh, wow. And there's going to be 12 episodes.
Yeah.
So
February... 10 were the ones that were funded, and then there was an hour-long special, which is that last one. And one of the rewards was, because my brother is one of these people who funded this Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Is the comic book.
Okay, gotcha. So you're right. February 4th, we're getting 3 episodes. February 11th, we're getting 3. And then February 18th will be the last 3.
Yeah. And this has already been produced and already animated and already done. Because all they did is just take their audio, basically, from...
No, the audio is...
No, what I'm saying, but the script and everything is already written. They just took the audio that they did from playing Dungeons & Dragons, and they just made it into a script and just revoiced it over again.
Yeah. I was about to say, they didn't just... Yeah, you can't just do that.
And all these guys, like we said earlier, are all voice actors. You've heard them in multiple things.
Oh, yeah. They're very all popular voice actors. Season 2, there's going to be a season 2, it looks like. So I'm excited.
Like the guy who played Grog, who plays Grog, I think was Thor in Avengers, if I remember correctly.
As simple as
so
why does that play? Yeah, so great show. Check it out if you like D&D. Another 3 episodes will be dropping this Friday.
If you don't like D&D, it's worth watching. It's good. It's really good.
So before we go deep,
But if you're in a D&D, like we started playing, like it's made
Yeah.
me want to start playing D&D again, watching
it
them.
made me miss playing. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
And the things I've learned from my brother and other people since I started watching the show. My brother and sister are over the moon that I'm now becoming a critter. I guess that's what the Critical Role fans are called. And starting to delve more into what Critical Role is. And it's just amazing their like business model that they've established and how this all works and how it kind of just came on a whim kind of thing. But the character of Percy, who is a custom made character in their Dungeons and Dragons campaign, there was no gunslinger character type in in Dungeons and Dragons at the time, because of the popularity of Critical Role and how popular that their campaign got from streaming online. Dungeons and Dragons invented the gunslinger character model and put it into the game, so now it's like an actual thing you can play.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I guess that's just one of those things that they've actually affected the game that they were playing by playing their game. It's actually changed some of the things Dungeons and Dragons does, which is kind of crazy.
Well, they did help push Dungeons and Dragons up to the forefront of popularity. They used to play the streaming. Their shows would be happening the nights when we were recording back in the day on Cox.
Yeah.
Like on Twitter, they would always be trending. And their streamings were very popular.
Yeah.
But Mark, we have to take a break before we jump into Peacemaker and Boba Fett.
Okay.
The big news: Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, as you see by my jersey I'm wearing today.
It's official.
In honor of TB12.
A couple days
22
ago,
seasons.
it came out that he was retiring.
Saturday.
It was not official. It was not official.
Yeah.
And then now today, this morning, it's
as the
official.
snow was falling, I got the thing on my phone from Adam Schefter, because on Twitter. It popped up on my news feed thing, like notification thing, that Tom Brady was retiring after 22 seasons. And I'm like, wow, okay. Kind of sort of thought that was going to happen, but not really expecting it to happen. Then kind of started checking out the interwebs and reading up on it and everything. And it really wasn't him saying it. It was multiple sources, and a friend of a friend mentioned to somebody, and that had gotten to somebody. And then like everyone started going with it. Like it was real news. Like not even from Tom Brady or anyone in Tom Brady's camp said anything.
This is what happened.
It's just a report from some random person saying that another person had said it. And it got to a person who has a little bit of clout, being Adam Schefter and other NFL reporters. They said it was happening. So before the guy could even say that he was actually retiring, everyone else told everybody that he was retiring. Like it was on CNN. Like it was a CNN. Like I saw people taking pictures and putting it on Facebook. Like Tom Brady's retiring. It's on CNN. It must be true. So it kind of like snowballed downhill. Then Tom Brady came out and said, nope, I'm not. I'm still deciding if I'm going to retire or not.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a weird thing, because it was a while before Tom Brady said it, that he was not retiring right away.
A couple days, yeah.
Well, I mean, before he announced he was retiring, but even that day of, like he didn't say it right away. Like he didn't debunk the news article or the news report. He kind of just, but then it came out that like no one had told Tampa Bay Buccaneers that he was retiring. Like he didn't say anything to anybody. So like as far as we know, he's still playing for us. But what happened was it was kind of like I equated to talking to, I mentioned to Claire yesterday. We were watching football and they were talking about it. I'm like, it's kind of like seeing your own eulogy, kind of. It's like reading everyone's like comments about your life after you've already passed and you're not dead, but
yeah,
like that kind of thing. Like people is like, oh, so and so died. They're like, no, I'm still here. I don't know what you're talking about. And everyone does like reports on, oh, he was this and he was a great football player and he was this and the other thing. And yet the people are like, oh, thank God he's gone. God, finally we can have a chance at winning something. So it's kind of interesting to see all that. Like I even posted something on Facebook, like, I wore this jersey in my senior photo my casual photo for high school. This exact jersey. I've had it since then. So 22 years he played in the NFL. He took me being a Patriots fan from being something people used to harass me about growing up. Like, oh my God, how can you like the Patriots? They're terrible. They've never won anything. To now everyone all of a sudden is a Patriots fan. Even people who used to pick on me for being a Patriots fan are now all of a sudden Patriot fans. And I don't say anything to them about it because I'm a nice guy. But
Yeah, right.
inside I'm saying it. I just don't say it out loud. But no, yeah. So it's just kind of crazy. Like I thought about that today when the actual news came out, right before we started the show. Tom Brady himself put on Instagram a whole thing, thanking the Buccaneers and everything. And then there's the whole people I was saying reading before we started recording on Facebook. People are like, Patriot fans are posting, oh, he didn't say anything about the Patriots. I'm like, he said goodbye to the Patriots 2 years ago when he left the Patriots to go to Tampa Bay.
Right.
Why would he now rehash that all over again? Be like, oh, and also goodbye to the Patriots. Like, you already said goodbye when you left. You don't need to say it again.
Well, he does say goodbye to the NFL as a
he said goodbye to the NFL and to the Buccaneers who he's playing for. He's no need to say goodbye to us. We, whatever. So that kind of happened, and it was just it's like I said, it's Tom Brady started playing in 2001. I remember him coming in.
That's crazy.
Against when Drew Bledsoe went down, he came in and took over. And since then, 6 Super Bowls. I went from having rooting for at the time when Tom Brady came in 2001. The Red Sox had not won the World Series in 86 years at the time. Patriots had never won a Super Bowl. They've been to 2. Got shellacked in both of them when I was growing up. Once against the Bears. Oh, someone's at my door.
Oh.
Let me go see what's going on.
Go get it.
All right, I'll be back.
All right, I'll be here.
Anyway, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, never had a Super Bowl before. Never seen a Super Bowl. Never seen the Red Sox win a World Series at the time.
Yeah.
It like changed this whole area, I would say.
New England became a dynasty.
The whole area of New England like changed in that time frame. In the past 20 years, it's been crazy to see. Like, growing up, we lived in that era. Like, you weren't as into baseball and stuff as I was.
Yeah.
In sports, but to see how my fandom was growing up to like my sister's fandom, Mariah's fandom. Like Mariah's almost, I want to say jaded, but like it's a different type of fandom in my opinion. I don't think there's like the same, like the Super Bowls affected me more than I say it would affected them. Like Mariah was born in 94. So when she was like 7, 8 years old, they won their first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I had to wait.
Losing. She grew up with them winning.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's a nice way of saying it. Yeah. But yeah, so it's just kind of crazy to like know that all happened and then look back on it and be like, yeah, I saw the Red Sox win 6 Super Bowls, which is crazy.
That is crazy. All because of Tom Brady and that combination.
Not just because of that combination of him and Belichick and all the different things and everything like that. And then the perfect season almost. And they lost the Giants, but they went 18 straight. You didn't even see him lose once until the Super Bowl.
I know. That was a big year.
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy. And then like their last Super Bowl win was the night I met Claire for the first time in person. So it was kind of crazy. It was like that whole time frame like encapsulated all the stuff. Yeah. And then he went on to Tampa Bay and won another one. And
he proved it wasn't
almost one went back this year.
That was a good. I actually watched the final quarter. I wanted to see if Tom Brady would go on to Super Bowl. So I watched the final quarter, and that was a nail biter. Yeah. That was like, wow. That was a good game.
Yeah.
So I mean, it would have been cool to see Tom Brady back in the Super Bowl one last time.
Yeah. I mean, I think if he had won again, it might not have, he might not have left. I think he kind of sees the writing on the wall. I mean, not just like his talent's still there and everything, but he is 44.
That's pretty old for the NFL.
His offensive coordinator is rumored to get hired somewhere else, which would mean bringing in a new person and having to learn a new scheme, possibly.
Yeah.
And at 44, I know at 42, I don't want to learn anything new. So I would assume that's part of the decision making. And you just, like, how many times can you just, like, what is he going to prove?
He doesn't have to prove anything.
I heard a perfect thing today before we started the show on the Dan Patrick show. One of the guys, even I think Dan Patrick said it. Like, Tom Brady is like Michael Jordan. Like, what is he going to accomplish? You're basically competing against yourself at that point. It's like, you're not like, you're never going to, like, you've beaten everything. You've done everything. You're the top of the mountain. It's like, where's he going to go?
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with
like,
that.
Now you're just like, he's going to go play somewhere else. He can't play, like, you're not going to uproot his whole family again and go somewhere else. Yeah. I mean, if he starts getting worse, it's just going to, people are going to be like, oh, remember when Tom Brady was good?
Yeah.
Remember when he used to be able to win Super Bowls every year? And I mean, now he's like, you didn't win a Super Bowl? All right, I'm gone.
It's like Seinfeld. You retire, you end your show on top.
Yeah.
You retire when you're the top peak of your career.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, where could he go from now? From
leave
here?
Before people ask you to leave.
Right.
That's a Josh Easton quote, I think. Just walk out the door and never tell anybody.
Irish goodbye. The Irish goodbye.
Irish goodbye it.
But anyway, yeah, that was the big news today with Tom Brady retiring.
Yeah. The funniest part of the whole Tom Brady retiring story was last night. He has his own podcast that he does on Monday nights on Sirius XM. So he's on the podcast last night, and the guy that hosts the show with him asks him about his retirement. He totally acts like there's no, like, I haven't made my decision yet. I haven't thought about it. Like, I'm still kind of mulling my decision making, what I'm going to do. And then this morning, I'm retiring.
Yeah.
How does SiriusXM feel? You were paying Tom Brady to be on your channel. Wouldn't you think, like, hey, Tom, if you're going to retire, do it on our show. So that way we can get the ratings out of it and use that. Like, that could be taken other places and be like. So today, instead of that, they're getting that audio of him last night being like, I don't know. I might. Who knows? I'm still figuring it out.
You got it on Instagram.
Yeah. Six pages of Instagram.
Well, hey, there you go. He's an influencer.
I guess.
So speaking of other news, I got some news real quick. So Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yes, back number one.
Secured its 6th domestic weekend box office, but it also has become one of the rare films to cross 1 billion overseas.
Wow. It's not like they have any competition right now. There's nothing coming out in the next.
This weekend, Jackass is coming out in that Moon movie. I am seeing Jackass on Friday.
The Moon movie, I don't think it's gonna do.
Moonfall. God, I don't even know.
Terrible.
It does look bad.
Looks like a bad sci-fi film, like actual channel sci-fi, not like a sci-fi movie, but an actual like Sharknado. That's what it looks like that kind of film style, low budget action movie. So
it remains the 4th highest grossing domestic release in history. It is currently 25 million away from passing Avatar's 760 million for 3rd place, which I hope it does.
Yeah.
It probably will surpass Avatar in the domestic box office, but
yeah, I'm still trying to find a date to take Claire. She keeps like coming up with, we keep finding reasons we can't go. So,
well, it's still in the theater.
Yeah.
And there are rumors that potentially when it comes to Blu-ray, when it comes to the home release, there are a copious amount of footage they didn't use.
I would assume so, yeah.
We will be getting that. Also, people are speculating, all speculation, that would would Sony and Marvel decide to release an extended cut in the theater before it releases in the home, just to maybe push it to make more money? That's
get to the
speculation.
top 3 to beat.
Yeah,
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, if people are willing to sit through a 3-hour-long Batman and a 3-hour-long Endgame and all these other things, why wouldn't people sit through a longer Spider-Man? Like, if you could throw in, like, if there was an actual Venom.
No, there's no Venom. It's more between the Spider-Mans.
Oh, okay.
That's the extra footage. That's rumored.
Yeah.
Rumored that there was a lot of stuff, more stuff between them they cut out. So it's rumored.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited for the home release myself, which will probably be coming out probably in March, March or April.
Yeah, because this month we get Free Guy on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I picked that up,
which I'm waiting to watch.
I picked it up on 4K. I haven't watched it. I gotta watch it. I keep forgetting I own it. I gotta watch it.
I see it on Amazon all the time. And I'm like, I don't want to pay for it. I'll wait.
I heard it's awesome. I wish
it is, but I'm like, it's gonna be free. Why am I gonna buy this now if I'm gonna watch it free in a month? Is it really that good that I'm gonna wait? I can't wait. I'm like, I can wait.
Also, real quick in video game news, Sony purchased Bungie just yesterday, which was pretty big news. Now Bungie is the original creators of Halo. Then they wanted to work on their own IP. They gave Microsoft retain the rights to Halo. Bungie went off with Activision and Blizzard to create Destiny.
Yes.
Then they left Activision because Activision was having a lot of problems and Bungie wanted to be independent again. And then now Sony is starting up a relationship with Bungie. They've clarified that
Didn't Xbox just buy? Who just bought?
Activision and Blizzard.
Yeah. So I mean, they're kind of glad they got out because they didn't want to be even part of Microsoft back then. They're not going to be in Microsoft now. So
yeah, it's interesting because Bungie has been with. They started off making games for Mac. The original Halo was made for Mac.
Yes.
Then they went to Microsoft. Then they went to Blizzard Activision. Then became independent. Now they're with Sony. And they're going to stay an independent. They're still going to be allowed to release all their games on all the platforms. They're still going to be to do all the things they normally do. But what Sony wants out of them is their tech and their live services tech. So I think it's good. It's good because Bungie is not a publisher. They are
creators.
Yeah, they're a creator. Where Activision was a publisher to help put out the pay for all marketing. It's a lot of money to market a game. So now
they basically they've made two
big franchises,
like
Halo
one big
and Destiny.
franchise, like one big franchise and a secondary franchise.
Destiny's, listen,
but not as big as Halo. I'm just saying it's not as big as Halo.
But Destiny has
maintained its own following. But I'm saying so they've made both those. So now they can't make either of those games again.
No, they own Destiny.
But if Activision had the rights to it,
no, they didn't.
Xbox bought Activision.
No. Activision was a publisher. Bungie owns Destiny. They will continue to make they needed a publisher.
So they learned from the Halo story is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, well, Microsoft wanted to keep Halo, so they sold off Halo, the rights to Halo, so Microsoft could keep it, and they wanted to make Destiny.
Gotcha.
They wanted Activision help publish it because they needed a publisher. They were a studio, not a publisher. So the publisher was like, "We'll pay for the marketing, we'll pay all that crap, all the advertising." So Destiny will continue. Halo will continue with 343. Then the other big buyout, which was interesting, is that Wordle, New York Times bought Wordle for 7 figures. Now,
which I have no idea what Wordle is. I ever probably know.
I put that meme on Facebook. It's interesting that Wordle, to me, when people share it on social media, there's no letters. All it is just blocks and colors.
Yeah.
And I think it would be more intriguing to folks if it actually gave you what word they're doing or whatever.
Yeah.
Because to me, I sarcastically will put a message like, "Man, you did a great job putting all those yellow blocks together."
Yeah,
Because
I don't know. My brother plays it, and he tried to explain it to me, and I still have no idea what's going on.
You have to figure out a word and like a certain amount of guesses, and every time a color shows up, it shows that that letter is in that word, or another color will show that that word
It's
is
only
in the correct
5-letter
spot.
words too, from what I understand. Or I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'll never play it, so I'm not going to worry about it.
I have no interest. But
So going back to what you were talking about, if you're still talking about Wordle, go ahead.
no, I'm done.
Okay. So now you're talking video game stuff. Figured it's a good time to talk about big games coming to Xbox Game Pass on day one. A lot of big third-party games coming to Xbox Game Pass. I know you like the Game Pass. Total War Warhammer 3 it comes out February 17th. I guess that's a big game.
I don't play Warhammer. Yeah.
2 Point Campus, May 17th.
These are real big hitters right here.
Yeah. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. December 8th. Is there like a Stalker? Is that a big game?
I don't know. I've never played Stalker. Maybe.
A Plague Title, Requiem.
That's a great game. I played that in the beginning of the pandemic. Beautiful. Okay. Fantastic.
All right. So I guess that will continue the story that's coming out on day one on Game
Well, that's going to be the sequel, I believe.
Yeah, to Plague Tale Innocence, I guess.
Yeah, the first one's really good.
Yeah. So I guess this is the sequel that comes out. Atomic Heart comes from Mundfish.
How long is this, Mark?
Set in a world where the Soviet Union has experienced a technological revolution, and the player must battle against its malfunctioning robots.
How long is this list? We got.
How much longer? Not much longer. Sniper Elite 5, Slime Rancher 2. That's the only one. Yeah. So I don't know. I thought these are supposed to be big games. I don't know any of these games.
They're not really that big.
No.
Okay, let's jump into Boba Fett first. Okay, Book of Boba Fett, The Return of Mandalorian. Holy shit, Bryce Dallas Howard comes in. You got it just felt right this episode, Mark. I was like, this is what Book of Boba Fett has been missing.
You know what this was? It wasn't.
This was planned.
It didn't feel like the Book of Boba Fett episode 5. To me, this felt like Mandalorian season 3, episode 1.
Yeah, well, it's continuing his story.
Yeah.
We're more invested with Mandalorian than Book of from Boba Fett. It just
goes to show like the Mandalorian is way bigger than anyone planned on it being.
Here is
that he can walk in to one episode of a different show completely,
and
it's way better than the regular show that was on the air in the first place.
Here's something I've been thinking about since the Book of Boba Fett started. Now I'm enjoying it. I don't think it deserves all the hate. It's an enjoyable show, but it's not great. And I also feel that Mandalorian is a clean slate character.
Yes.
We have nothing, but we're learning everything about him as we're watching the shows.
Yeah.
Book of Boba Fett Boba Fett shows up in Mandalorian. That's exciting. It's a character we all love. But now we're giving his history, which you have over 30 years of your imagination and books and cartoons and
which
comics.
You've said before.
But
I think the way they're doing it in a perfect way too. The one thing I do like that they're doing is they're setting this up to be almost in a way that with this episode of Book of Boba Fett and what happens to Mando in this episode, this kind of sets up a nice like connection with Boba Fett now. Like Boba Fett has never been to Mandalorian, never had any attachments to Mandalore, really. Besides his dad, like he's not connected to the planet whatsoever.
Yeah, we know, but Mando's.
But now they can kind of use this, what happened in this episode, to kind of team up him with Mando.
Yeah, well, that's what's
going on. He could be like, "Hey, I know you can't do what you want to do, but you can work for me and be my sidekick, or
I feel like
work with me."
Boba Fett works better for me, and I just think as a side character, I'm glad we're getting the history of him, but I don't feel like we need a season 2. I feel like Mandalorian should be the main show.
Well, I think the way to
where
do
Boba
this,
Fett
the
will
way to
show
make
up.
it work is you now have a way, which they're trying to do, of you can do Mando as your main like Avengers storyline, where everyone gets together, comes into one story, and they tell the one story. And then you can branch them off into their own worlds. Like Boba Fett can be in his little world, Ahsoka can be in her little world. You know, they were gonna do Cara Dune could be in her little world, and then Mando is where they
Not
all
anymore.
come. Well, I know, but that was the plan.
Yeah.
And then Mando is the one place where they all come together to do like the big story. So I think that's what they're still trying to do or going to do.
I
it'll be
just think
interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
Mandalorian is just, it's weird. It
Then you
just
can
felt
bring
nice.
Mando into all those shows. I'm saying you can like, so you're not like having to do like Mando, all these seasons of Mando. You can do like Mando and Boba Fett, Mando and this person, Mando and that person,
I agree with you.
and then Mando has his own.
I'm just
season
saying,
every once in a while.
this, for me, Boba Fett just works as a side character. I mean, once we're over this season, I don't see them doing a season 2 of it. I feel like his character can show up in any show. And
Yeah, no, I think that's what
perfectly,
I'm saying. I think that's doing the Book of Boba Fett show was a way to set up episode or season 3 of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like we have to, like, instead of just going into season 3 of Mandalorian, like the beginning of the season would have been this episode, basically. That just happened on Boba Fett. Would have been season episode 1 of the season would have been Mando, what happened after Grogu left in the ship with Luke, and where does he go now after that whole story. And that's basically what they told in this episode. But instead they were like, well, we don't want to just like, here's what happened with Boba Fett. Now he's taken over the throne, and why is Mando having to go help him? Well, we need to tell that story. So here's how we tell that story, and then we can push back Mando a year, and Pascal can go be on Last of whatever that show is, and then we can do Mandalorian after that.
Okay, needless to say, how they film things. I'm just saying this episode was the best of the season.
Oh, it was great.
That first 10 minutes was amazing.
Yeah.
I just want to see Boba Fett fight with his helmet on, like Mando fights. Like, I just feel like
I think you're going to get it in the next 2 episodes.
I hope so. What do we got? 2 episodes left?
Yeah, 6 and 7.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to get. There's rumors we might get Luke in this next episode.
I don't think so.
Because he had to go visit a little friend.
Yeah, but I don't think
Grogu's with Luke.
He's not doing that right now. He's helping Boba Fett.
No, he said, I gotta go before I help you guys, I gotta go see a little friend first.
Well, I don't know. Maybe
they had no way of going to visit him because they had no ship.
Well, I love
so he
how
came to get a ship, and then he was gonna go take off and do his own thing.
We got the ship from episode 1.
Yes, nice little callback there.
We got the droid from Jedi Fallen Order, which was kind of cool. Which I can't remember if he showed up.
BT. Which isn't that exact droid, it's just a version of that droid.
But it is that droid.
I don't know about that.
I'm saying it's that type of droid. It's
that type of droid, but I'm saying I don't think it's that exact droid.
I'm saying they're bringing in different things from different sources.
That would mean possibly that actor could be on Mando as his character. That means they could bring Callan in as a canon character.
Well, that happened.
And that would give them another Jedi.
I'm trying to think in the timeline when that happened.
That happens before, that happens at the Attack of the Clones. When the Order 66 comes down.
Right. You're right.
So he's technically been out and about in the world. And they could say, like, they never, like, they're making a second game. Supposedly.
We're getting a sequel, which is a fantastic game.
Yeah. So unless he dies in that game,
no, he's not going to die in the game.
Then there's a possibility he's still alive and out there doing things.
They could bring him in the show. They
He
could.
could show up.
That would be
See,
awesome.
the thing to me though is, I thought about this too, and I'm like, I don't know if I want him to show up.
Well, they never said he was. So.
No, but I'm just saying because the droid showed up, so it's like either
I think it's just an Easter egg, Mark.
Favreau don't just throw things into the show without there being some kind of something.
It's just an Easter egg.
I know.
It's just,
But if that's like, I heard
it is.
people be like, oh my gosh, if the droid's around, then that means he's possibly going to be around. I'm like, I don't know if I want to see him, because then that would ruin any for future games I play, because I know he's going to survive.
Yeah,
The whole
but
thing of Fallen
when you
Order
play a
was you're
protagonist in a game, generally that protagonist is not going to die, so it doesn't ruin anything.
Not generally, but that's been proven to not be the fact. And
When I play Tomb Raider, Lara Croft, I know Lara Croft is not going to die.
yeah, but you've played games before that the main characters died.
Very far in between, Mark.
Yeah,
Very far and few in between.
yeah.
It's not a
I mean, it
typical
happens.
thing to
So
happen.
I'm just saying, it'd be kind of like, I'd be disappointed, I think, if I saw him.
You know, Star Wars are not going to kill him off. That's going to be, if they make a sequel, they're not going to kill him off. So anyway, they'd be like killing Mando,
Why, that's not gonna happen.
Exactly, because he's making money for Disney. Anyway, this episode was just amazing. I give it a solid 10. I was just so happy to see Mandalorian. He has a gift for Grogu. He's gonna go visit Grogu. He's got the ship, the little whatever that present is. It's wrapped in fabric that looks like Grogu's face. Will we see Luke again? That will be interesting if Luke shows up in this episode. I really didn't get the impression he was going to go there first. I thought for some reason he was going to help them and then go.
No. He says, before I gotta go see a little friend first. I go check in on a little friend first, and then I'll come back.
The little compartment that was meant for the droid.
Yeah. I think that's what it's for. Yeah.
Yeah, because now he'll have his own area.
Yeah.
You have to touch things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Little fake knobs you can play with and things.
So I am pumped for the final 2 episodes of the series. Like I said, I don't agree with all the haters. I have been enjoying it, but this episode
So here's my question.
like the missing thing. I was like, yes, this is it.
Here's my question though. Do you think they end the story in the series? In the 7 episodes?
For Boba Fett, they do.
Or do they not, or they just say, like Mando said, I gotta go do something, then I'll be back. Do they leave it on a cliffhanger ending, and then they don't answer the ending until the first episode of the next season of Mando?
My prediction, I see what you're saying. My prediction is this. If we get 2 episodes left, it's going to go back to Boba Fett because it's his show.
Yeah.
I think you are onto something. I think next episode is going to go back to Boba Fett. I think the final episode, Mando shows back up, and we don't see what happens until maybe
That's what I'm saying.
his show picks up.
Yeah.
Right. Because it would make you
Want to see the Mando. That's the whole
and
bit.
if he
The
shows
whole
up,
point of this show is to build up the next season of Mando.
if he shows up with Grogu at some point and we do not see what happens, I feel like we might see what happens season 3 of Mando. Yeah. Or they surprise us and they give it to us in the next episode.
And it is very Star Wars now. It's give it, just make it, just do it. That's very new Star Wars. Jon Favreau is very just do it.
We could just see it happen, and then Mando helps Boba Fett in the last episode. I don't know. I mean, it can go either way. It's weird. I'm on the fence about which way this is going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, I think we might see what happens.
I don't know. I think they've pulled the Luke Band-Aid off now. So they technically could, like, now it's like, I don't want him to dive back into that well again so quickly.
But we could just see Luke in passing. It's not going to the scene could be 10 minutes. It could be 20 minutes.
Well, even no matter how long it is, the last scene was less than.
He shows up, he takes Grogu somehow from Luke and leaves.
Yeah.
And Luke could just be like not knowing what's going on.
I don't know. I just think even anything involving him is just I don't know. It's very, very strange, but I don't know. I'm hoping we
You're
get
gonna
a
love it.
resolution to the story, and it's not just a cliffhanger ending.
I don't think it's gonna be. We're gonna get an ending for Boba Fett. Yeah.
I don't know. I also have a feeling that Boba Fett is building his own squadron, kind of like his own group.
Yeah. Well, we know that. We know
I
he's got
think
people.
that's like what we're heading towards. So who knows who else they're going to bring in? I wouldn't be surprised if there's more bounty hunters appearing.
Well, no, but also, well,
I mean, if Fennec's out recruiting people,
yeah, the other bounty hunters.
like she
that
was
are not
giving money to
Mando.
Mando, and Mando's like, nah, keep the money. So there's like, you have that money saved. So now you can use that on somebody else that you were going to try to recruit.
Yeah.
So if she's out recruiting people,
We might get some surprises. Yeah.
there's going to be, I'm assuming there's going to be some, because as I was just saying, Jon Favreau is just do the thing, very much so since Mando started. To very much just do the thing. If you're going to come up with something cool, just do it. I mean, the fact that we saw R5D4, we got the BD droid. There's
Gonna be good.
I
Tomorrow.
don't know if my little nerd brain can handle any more craziness from the show.
Why? It's been good so far. Come on.
It's been really good. And that's the thing. Like the fact that even that, like, we got a random episode of Mando in this show basically like opens the door to anything can happen in the next episode. It's like we can throw anything at you.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that there's the rumored Boba Fett riding a Rancor.
Well, it's been foreshadowed that
Yes.
it's going to happen.
But I'm saying that's going
to happen. We know it's going to happen.
like that's going to blow my brain enough as it is. Like any other things is just gravy at this point.
Yeah. What do you give this episode? I give it a 10. 10. Blew my mind. It was so good.
I agree with you that it was a great episode and that it was the best episode so far. But
I cheered.
Tempering myself to the
I
fact
clapped.
that this is just the 5th episode of this series.
Yeah.
There's 2 more episodes. And if this is what like the precursor to the final act is, what the hell is going to happen in the final act? So I'm going to give it a 9 because I don't want to like prejudge what the last 2 episodes are going to be.
Well, you can still give
But
it
if I
10.
set it at 10 now, and the last 2 episodes are ridiculous, off the wall, bonkers,
you can
crazy.
give them 11s. You can give them 11s.
I've blown the scale already, so it's like I don't want to set the scale too far. So I'll temper it with a 9.
All right.
9 with an asterisk.
Okay. I blow the scale up every week. I don't know.
I know. Yeah, you just give everything a 10.
Well, I didn't give it a 10 last. I think I gave it an 8 last week.
I know.
So for me, this was like fantastic.
Yeah.
Um,
like I've said, like, because Claire's asked, like, oh, how's this show compared to that show? I'm like, you can't compare the two. You can't compare Boba Fett to Peacemaker.
Yeah.
They're 2 different shows completely.
Yeah.
So you have to, like, the grading system is, this is how it sets for the Star Wars shows, and then Peacemaker is like superhero shows. It's 2 different.
So the newest Peacemaker episode was, I freaking loved it, and now I've gotten Allison sucked in. I watched last episode with her in the background, and then she started watching it, and then I gotta watch Peacemaker this weekend. She's like, I gotta watch it with you. So she's now into it.
It's good. It's good. It's got a little bit of a love story in there now. They're trying to open a little bit of a love story
with Hardcore
and Peacemaker.
Well, it was great because now we got to see them. They worked as a team.
Yes.
They did the thing as a team.
Yes.
And you see the camaraderie now.
Bad 80s music.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
And they brought in one of my favorite characters from Hell on Wheels as the police captain.
Yes,
the Swede. I was like, oh my God, the Swede is in this show.
Yes.
This show just raised up another level.
The Swede is
bringing in the Swede.
He finally died in Hell on Wheels, but he took forever to die.
He is.
He is a great bad guy.
Great at being the biggest a-hole
Yeah, he's a
Oh my
swarmy.
gosh.
He's a great swarmy character.
Yes.
But yeah, like things are in play. Obviously, they still don't. They ended on a cliffhanger.
Well, I mean, they kind of like you kind of figured it. Like I mean,
we knew someone was
we've
going
all
to
seen enough comic book stuff to know that as soon as they unveil the X-ray helmet,
that someone was
going to randomly put on the X-ray helmet. Either somebody would Peacemaker would look over and see him, or someone look over and see that he's got a thing in his head.
That was awesome, though.
Yeah.
Like she's like, "Holy shit!" and he just like lunges at her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, of course they're going to end it right there.
Yeah.
But man, I love this show. It is actually the biggest show on streaming services right now. It's beating out Witcher 2. It's beating out Book of Boba Fett. It's one of the most demanded streaming shows.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. I just I love it every week.
The thing with like the Witcher 2 comparisons that people
I haven't seen Witcher 2.
Numbers and everything. You can't compare a show that's all put out at once to a show that comes out episodically. Of course, one that comes out episodically is going to be seen more because you're only going to sit through one viewing of Witcher. You're just going to binge it.
I don't. I take a.
Well, I'm saying some people, like most people are just going to
yeah.
watch it like in chunks. They're not going to watch it.
Yeah.
You know,
I gotta
like
watch
an appointment
Witcher 2.
television to watch Witcher.
Yeah.
Like I already set aside time to watch Witcher.
I feel like you're the only one I know who watched Witcher season 2.
Which is crazy because it's so good.
I know. Well, Allison, we watched the first season together, so we want to watch the second season together, but we just gotta have the time.
Once you get into it, you're not going to be able to stop. It's
it's on my list. It's on my short list.
Engrossing, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, and I know the timeline's more linear. It doesn't jump around like the other one.
It doesn't jump hardly at all.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
But anyway, Peacemaker, for me, this was a solid 9 episode. We got like 2 more episodes left, or 3 more, I think.
Yeah, 3. A week behind.
I mean, I just like how it's basically damage control over stupid things that happened, and they're just constantly trying to fix things. But then you have the new chief of police, played by the Swede. He comes in, he's just like, nope, leave it alone. So the cops are like, we got to investigate this ourselves because there's something up with this whole fake fingerprints with Peacemaker and his dad. And I love the whole like, well, is it the white dragon? He's an asshole, so just leave him in there. And she's like, well, I can't do that because that's not the point. So I like how all these things are emotion.
So Peacemaker episode 6 is coming out Thursday. And there's 2 episodes after that. There's 8 episodes of Peacemaker.
But yeah, great episode. Fun time. I mean, all 3 shows I'm into watching, and 4 shows because now this week I'm watching Cowboy Bebop live action. It's weird. I've never watched so many new shows at one time.
It's a sad state of affairs for you, Brian.
Like I said, back in the early 2000s, Thursday nights, NBC, I'm watching Community. I'm watching The Office. I'm watching Park and Rec. I'm watching 30 Rock. Seinfeld when I was in high school. Friends.
30 Rock was a little bit before the other 3 you mentioned, but that's okay.
Well, 30 Rock was in the 2000s.
Oh, 30 Rock. I thought you said Third Rock.
Oh, Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah.
But like, it's weird because there was a point in time where the only shows I watched were Thursday nights on NBC, and now I'm like watching 4 shows that are all in 4 different.
I couldn't even name a show on NBC.
Mr. May. Oh, I watched SNL. SNL I watch every week.
Well, I mean, like a sitcom.
A sitcom. Mr. Mayor.
Is that still on?
I don't know. I started watching it. It was okay, but the only thing I watch on NBC is Law and Order Criminal Intent, SVU.
Did you see
SNL?
Random throw in because you mentioned SVU and it made me think about it. Have you seen the trailer for Will Arnett's new Netflix show?
Yes, and it's like improv.
It's all improv. All the guests have never seen the script.
Yes.
The only people in the show have seen the script. It's a new person every week.
Yes, it does look good. Has it come out?
I think it comes out the 17th.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm not gonna lie. It looks like it could be. Conan O'Brien's gonna be an episode.
Conan O'Brien, Marshawn Lynch, Kumail from
Kamal Johnny
from Eternals.
Internally boring movie.
Yes.
Internal.
It comes out Thursday.
Oh well, I'm gonna
on
finish
Netflix.
Cowboy Bebop first, and then I'll
Yeah.
jump into that show. It does look good.
Comes out on the 3rd.
Nice. It does look really funny.
Yes. It's produced. I think it's totally produced by Will Arnett. I think it's his like baby basically.
Looks fun. It does look fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Ken Jeong, Sharon Stone, Conan, Marshawn Lynch, Camille Annie Murphy from whatchamacallit there? The Levy show.
Yeah.
Schitt's
Yeah.
Creek.
Yep. That's Otter.
Yeah. It's only 6 episodes.
Nice. I will definitely check it out then. It looks good.
Yeah.
So, all right, Mark.
Yeah.
We should
I
wrap
saw the
up.
trailer for it and I showed Claire and I'm like, we're watching this. I don't care.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's got murder in the title, so you'll watch it.
We should wrap the show up because we've gone over
Yes.
almost an hour and a half.
Oh man.
But anyway, Peacemaker, it was a 9 for me. What about for you, Mark?
I'll also give it a 9. I'm excited to see where it goes and how the story is still kind of not really no answers to what's going on really. So kind of interested to see how this all turns out.
Yeah, it's a nice little farce.
Yeah.
It's farcical.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we should wrap it up.
Yes.
Like, subscribe. We're on Spotify for now. We might, we might
who
just pull
knows?
our catalog.
We might pull ourselves too. That Joe Rogan, if he keeps up, we're gonna get out of there.
We're gonna pull all.
We're gonna
100 shows.
solidarity with Neil Young because he's important.
He is.
So
well, he did Neil Young and a couple other artists, but the Spotify stocks did tank.
Did 25% of their stock went out the door. So
yeah, so it did hurt him a little bit. But,
did hurt him, but whatever.
Whatever. I don't care. I don't pay for Spotify, so
I don't either. I never listen to anything on Spotify, even though we're on it. I've never listened to it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
So
we'll be back next.
Stay tuned. Follow us
Monday.
on the Facebooks. We'll be back on Monday. We'll be back with Peacemaker, Vox Machina, and Book of Boba Fett, and whatever else happens to come up in the next week. We'll be back to talk about all that and more. Be good. Everyone have a safe one and enjoy your week. We'll see you all next week.